Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. So the recent announcement, the official deal that Verizon is going to buy Frontier, that makes T-Mobile's September 18th analyst day that much more important. Because now we know, just by doing that deal, we know what Verizon plans on doing and how they plan on moving forward. The wireless side, we know it's C-band, C-band, C-band. Verizon already has the scale and size of network, so now it's C-band, C-band, C-band. But it was really unclear where Verizon was going with fiber. Were they going to expand? Were they just going to leave it alone? And we just got our answer. So that's big. That's why September 18th is very important, because we need to see how T-Mobile is going to maneuver moving forward. How aggressive is T-Mobile going to get in fiber? Will they tell us publicly that they eventually plan on owning and operating their own fiber? That's why September 18th is very important. With T-Mobile, they still have the smaller network, although it's not as small as it once was, right? And although it's not that much smaller, they still have the smaller network. So we really still need clarification on how they plan on further closing that gap, right? The initial 10,000 new site builds after the Sprint merger, that's one part. Now we have the US Cellular merger or acquisition that's expected to close in the first half of next year. That's another part, right? So there's a lot of moving parts still for T-Mobile to really grow and scale to where AT&T and Verizon are today. And then in the middle of all of that, we got to figure out their fiber strategy. Verizon's now is clear as day. AT&T, we already know what they're going to do, so we're good on that. We just didn't know T-Mobile, right? If it's a race to convergence, we really need more details on how T-Mobile plans to get there. I think I have a clear view on it. I think they're going to remain with the open access strategy. I don't think they're going to all of a sudden buy up all these big cable players. They just don't have the margins to do it. I was very clear on that in the recent video, and I'll say it again here. They don't have the margins to support taking on that amount of debt. That's why the CapEx and free cash flow is where it is, because they can't. If the CapEx was higher, the free cash flow would be lower, because T-Mobile doesn't have the margins today to support a higher CapEx and still pull in the same free cash flow, right? So we got to acknowledge that. But September 18th, we're going to get a full breakdown of the financials moving forward, where they think they can be with net income, total revenues, free cash flow. So it's this one, the day is coming. It's not far away, and this is going to be important. I took the day off so we can really break this down and really assess how T-Mobile is going to adjust and compete moving forward the next at least 5 years, I would assume, is what they present to us, to remain competitive against Verizon and AT&T. I said it in a previous video, right, not too long ago. I just said it in a video earlier. Once Verizon and AT&T deleverage, and they're well on their way of doing so, then they're going to go on the buying spree. So T-Mobile, again, buy all you can. Metronet, Lumos, and I know you're not buying the entire company, right? You're just getting like 50% stake in each, I believe. But you know, get it while the getting is good. Because now that Verizon told the market that they're going to try to buy Frontier based on regulatory approval, I mean, like I just said in the previous video, I think Lumos just makes sense. I mean, Lumen. Might as well buy them too. And if Verizon is thinking about buying Lumen, then I think AT&T needs to step in first. They need to one-up Verizon. Verizon one-upped AT&T. Now AT&T needs to one-up Verizon and buy Lumen. Because this is clear as day now that Verizon is trying to close that size and scale gap to AT&T fiber to compete, in my opinion, on the converged offer. And I think that's a big part of why AT&T's churn is so low, is because of the fiber piece. They bundle wireless with fiber, and they do it very well, right? They give you a discount, and it just resonates well with the base. So you have the fiber piece, you have the wireless piece, the discount, then you have the new and existing customers get the same deal. It's just resonating very well with the consumer base. And we can see it in the numbers. If you look at the churn, it's all right there. Last quarter, Verizon had the highest churn, then T-Mobile below Verizon, and then AT&T the lowest. So that's where the market seems to be shifting, converged offers. That's where I feel it seems the next level of competition is coming from. What discount can you get, right? What's the best bundled discount that you can get from a carrier? I think that's where we're heading towards. I still think some type of TV needs to be included in that. I think Verizon has the right strategy on that with the perks and the value, but we'll see. But this right here, and I don't want to hype it up too much, but September 18th, it's a very important day for T-Mobile. It's investors, shareholders, tech enthusiasts, wireless enthusiasts that are just, into the industry, because this is going to tell us a lot. This is going to tell us how T-Mobile perhaps plans to compete against convergence, right? If that's the next big thing, they should tell us how they plan to proceed on fiber, if they want to go, even bigger on the JV players, or, whatever they plan to do. And then, of course, the wireless network. How do they plan to further close the size and scale gap to the competition? Because I feel that's the last piece, right? There's a lot of moving parts to this, but I think that's the last piece that they really need to really close that perception gap to the competition. And then I do feel, right, and I don't know if we get that September 18th, but I do feel they need to start owning and operating the fiber to the cell. It just makes it less complicated for them. It's owner economics, and the fact that Verizon and AT&T are doing it, it tells me it makes sense. If it didn't make sense, they wouldn't be doing it. But I understand T-Mobile's side of things, right? They don't have the margins, so they really can't support a higher CapEx, that drastic increase of a CapEx to really support spending money on wireless while deploying your own fiber. It's very cost intensive. So we got to let T-Mobile cook. They just closed a big merger 4 years ago, almost 5. And they're still trying to work on that, right? There's still Sprint keep sites that are being converted. They're still trying to better the finances. So we got to give them a little time to really improve the margins where they see fit and really own and operate as this bigger company. And then hopefully at this analyst day, we get the further moving parts on the fiber piece, if they eventually do plan to own and operate. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.